If you're standing up, you're going to want to sit down for this announcement because I'm coming in hot. I'm about to hit you with the truth. I am not a drama channel. I like to joke about internet drama quite often. I think it's very entertaining to talk about some petty internet shit that goes on when egos collide and just other weird stories from the internet. I think that's very enjoyable. But I've never wanted my identity to be someone like a fucking teenage girl that constantly engages in drama or stirs up controversy with others on the platform. I know some people disagree, like, Charlie only does drama these days, and that's fine to have that perspective. I just personally don't see it that way and never really want that to be my identity. So this will be the last video I make about vegan gains. This will be the last time you hear Voldemort's name leave my mouth here. So I made that video addressing a controversy, talking about the video Vegan Gains made about me, calling me a hypocrite for eating meat, and calling out someone who tortures animals on YouTube. He's made a follow-up video. He had a 4-hour stream, which I tuned into because I wanted his perspective. I did open that video up for a dialogue. I thought that's what the goal was, but Vegan Gains has made it clear he doesn't give a fuck about a conversation, he only cares about milking the attention. So right after I posted my video, he went live on YouTube where he watched my 10-minute video for about an hour and a half. I want to say right away, I don't condone people going to harass anyone I make videos about. I hate that behavior. I will never encourage that shit. So the people that went there just to make fun of him or anything like that, you never ever have my encouragement or my blessing to do so. I think that shit sucks. But that did happen. He spent an hour and a half watching a 10-minute video because he'd stop every 2 words to screech and scream one of 3 things, one of only 3 phrases he seems to know: straw man, ad hominem, and poisoning the well. It was a truly insufferable live stream to sit through, but in between his constant short-circuiting where he was only able to regurgitate one of 3 words and talking about the Holocaust and rape, he made good points. He had very sound arguments that I respected. And not just respected, 100% agree with. But sitting through that live stream was tough. The constant pausing to dissect each word was more painful than listening to the animal screams in a slaughterhouse. But in between having a macho man meltdown where he'd, challenge people from the chat to come fight him if they disagreed or whatever, he said, "Charlie, if you want to talk about it, let's talk about it," which I had every intention of doing because, like I said, I thought that's what the goal was. We each say our piece and discuss it. However, a mere 2 hours after the live stream ended, somewhere in there, he put up another video addressing it. Even though he had just gone 4 hours thoroughly dissecting everything, he made another video just to milk those titties, get a little extra drama out of this whole situation. He started his stream a little bit before I started streaming myself, so while he was still going, I had already started streaming. By the time I was done streaming, he had already posted another video that had been up for like 2 hours. So it seems like only a couple hours after his stream that went 4 hours dissecting it concluded, he made another video just to really reach deep into the colon of controversy to keep getting some attention out of it. I don't see what the point of the live stream was when you were still made up your mind about making another video, regardless of if I took you up on a debate or conversation offer. So to me, that seems like you don't even genuinely believe in having a conversation, you just really want the attention from this whole situation. So to me, that seems like you really liked all of the donations you got during your stream. There was a lot of those trolls, like I mentioned, that were donating to make fun of him, and then people in his community donating to support him. So he made a lot of money off the controversy while covering the topic. He did send me a tweet asking if we could have a conversation while I was streaming, and by the time I saw the tweet, the video had already gone up. So he had already made up his mind that he was going to continue making videos about the drama to really squeeze every last bit of extra views he could get out of the situation. So again, after watching the video, a lot of points I agree with, and he even pointed out things I personally thought I messed up on. For example, misrepresenting points. That wasn't my intention. For example, the dog, Dr. Seuss tale he told, the weird shit about someone goes in their backyard and shoots their dog. The way he said it was, someone shoots a dog in their backyard. To me, that sounds like someone has gone into someone else's backyard and shot a dog for no reason. But I misunderstood what he was saying. With his galaxy brain, he was talking about the owner going in the backyard and shooting their own dog. It was a genuine misunderstanding, not some kind of sinister way to try and twist what he was saying. The main thing that you're right about 100% is in my initial video, I didn't make any arguments to counter you. I absolutely did not. That wasn't the goal of the video. I wasn't trying to debunk you or fight you on all of your points or anything like that. There was a few that I didn't understand clearly, like the dog thing, but I wasn't trying to counter you. That wasn't the goal of the video. The purpose of my video, the point I was making, is the way you conduct yourself, your character, is the worst thing for veganism and the worst look to people that are already sympathetic to your cause. You're not going after the actual animal abusers, you're going after people in the fitness industry that eat meat. You went after me because I called out an animal abuser, but I eat meat. You yourself didn't call out animal abuse. I imagine you'll do something for H3H3 because he called So Young out and he eats meat. You're not going after the actual problem. You're going after people that are already sympathetic to it and driving them away. That was my point. I wasn't arguing your beliefs because I'm not trying to convert you to my side or anything. And I don't care that you criticized me. I have thick skin. I can take it. Half of my content is dedicated to criticizing things, so I expect it back. The point I'm making is your entire history on YouTube has been actively shooting the idea of meat substitutes in the foot to people that aren't in the know. You say a lot of it's geared towards education, but if you look at the video you made about me, only a chunk in the middle seems educational where you talk about the alternatives and, well, here's what you could have done. That's educational. The entire second half of the video is you call So Young a piece of shit, look in the mirror, you're a hypocrite, 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 you do this, you're a hypocrite, she does this, she's not a hypocrite, you're a hypocrite, big hypocrite. That's not educational and it doesn't do anything. You're not challenging my beliefs. You're not making me reevaluate the way I look at things. That's just you doing an attack. And it's a big leap as well, the way you go about it. But since you want to play this game, I'll hop in the swamp with you for a moment and fight you on some things. Your comparison to me eating a chicken tender being the same as So Young torturing animals on YouTube for entertainment, if not worse, that is just outright ridiculous and you're fucking delusional. It's hard to have like an actual cohesive argument to that because it is so outlandish. That's like me saying you support the abuse of women and children by buying tickets to a movie. Hollywood has abused child actors and actresses constantly. So by you having seen even a single movie in your life, you have supported that. It's a moral high ground anyone can take against anyone for anything. You wear a gaming headset during your streams. You realize those parts that compose that gaming headset, a lot of them are made in sweatshops. Very, very immoral means of getting those parts, and you're wearing it freely. So by wearing that, you're supporting that kind of terrible thing in the world. I'm of course not the only one to make this comparison, but you keep dodging it. On Twitter, a user proposed the exact same thing, and your response was, "Oh, you're just retarded. You're not nearly on the same level of intelligence that I am. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm holier than thou. You're wrong. Look at Foxconn." I don't know if you're joking or if you're actually dumb, but Foxconn actually does use minors at their factories in China. They're being investigated for it. It's pretty well documented. And Foxconn's an extremely terrible place to work that's well known for workers committing suicide. So I don't know why you'd use this as an example to somehow dismiss the argument. But even if you did cherry pick like the world's best factory, it doesn't dismiss the comparison. That'd be like me saying, hey, look at this incredible slaughterhouse that treats its animals extremely well. This is representative of all slaughterhouses, right? It just doesn't make any sense. You just come across real dumb here. You're also pathetically lying on Twitter. I've never blocked anyone on YouTube. I had to Google where I could even find that feature to see if anyone's blocked. There's nobody even listed there. This is just an outright lie. You also act like you're some huge war hero that came out triumphant over this incredible internet battle where you slap me around on my arguments. But I didn't make any arguments. You said yourself I didn't make any arguments, so I don't know what you're going on about here puffing out your chest for. You also act like I'm afraid to talk to you, as if I'm hiding in some underground bunker in a shelter, avoiding the boogeyman of veganism, which clearly isn't the case. You decided to turn this into a video war back and forth instead of waiting for me to respond or see if I even wanted to respond. I only had a window for a couple of hours in between your live stream and then your pathetic speedrun attempt on YouTube drama by posting a follow-up video to Farm Controversy, and I was streaming during this window in the first place, so it's not like I've had all of these opportunities to touch base with you. You've made it clear your intention isn't a conversation. It's to just keep milking drama, getting as many videos out of it as you can. And if you want to go in the hypocrite route, you're a massive fucking hypocrite. You have a Teespring where you sell Vegan Gains cotton t-shirts. Cotton is not only one of the worst things for the environment, we'll go ahead and set that aside because I don't think you give a fuck about that. We're going to talk about its direct impact on animals. The production of cotton accounts for 24% of the global insecticide market. Insecticide in the cotton production often leaks into the water supply of the nearby areas and threatens biodiversity and directly poisons the animals. So by you selling cotton t-shirts, you are directly killing animals. And not just that, you're profiting from it, which is even worse. In fact, it goes beyond that. You're paying someone else to make these cotton t-shirts for you, which are killing animals, and you're making money off of it. It's pretty extreme, man. That's a lot worse than what meat eaters do, people that eat KFC. I actually don't even eat KFC, by the way. That was the first time I've eaten KFC since I was 6 years old. And I really don't eat red meat. That was the first time I've taken a nibble of red meat in about a decade. But what you do is so much worse than those things, because people that do eat meat like that, the animal's already dead, with or without them buying it. But for you, that shirt didn't exist until you put it in production. So you actually just brought it out there and have some blood on your hands, whereas meat eaters, they're a little bit cleaner than you in that regard. I double and triple checked to make sure this was actually your merch store because I couldn't believe that you wouldn't know about the impact cotton has on animals. I'm sure you know about the impact on the environment, that's pretty well known, but animals specifically. Because that seems like something you'd be very well aware of and want to avoid, but it is yours. I found it through your YouTube video announcement with it, and I get the video itself as a joke, but the shirts are real. I can order one right now, and people have ordered them, and I have to wonder if they know just what kind of impact that has on animals, and if they're okay with that. I know cotton is deemed vegan friendly, but I don't get why. Animals aren't directly killed to make cotton, but the production of cotton directly leads to animal deaths and getting rid of a lot of homes for animals. Now, I'm pretty sure you're probably finding a way to tap dance around that fact or dispute it. You're very tenacious, but there is a point that you can't fight on when it comes to cotton. We'll use the Aral Sea as an example. The Aral Sea was the fourth largest lake in the world for a time, but during the 1960s, local government diverted the waterways that fed the Aral Sea into cotton production because cotton production is so water intensive. Over time, this drained the Aral Sea, and it's now the Aralkum Desert. It's just completely empty. There's no lake there anymore. All the fish that lived there are dead. The animals that inhabited it and used it as a watering hole are no more. They've either moved somewhere else or died as a result of the poisoning. Now, I know you and a lot of members in your community feel that you are 100% in the right and anyone who eats meat can never be right and is in the wrong, but I'd argue what you're doing is a lot worse than someone that's eating a chicken tender or people that eat meat to survive or just as part of their diet since it's financially cheaper than a lot of the alternatives at the moment. You are profiting off of directly hurting animals through the production of your merchandise. I really can only imagine how many times you've stopped this video on stream by now. I imagine it's well over 100. It's probably about a 3-hour stream by now dissecting each part of this. But I have to say, in your words, what's your excuse? There's plenty of alternatives to cotton that don't damage the environment or hurt animals. Why didn't you use those options? Why'd you choose cotton? I even decided to check all around Teespring and people talking about Teespring because I thought, well, there's no way Vegan Gains would let this fly. There's no way he wouldn't know about this. Maybe Teespring's doing something totally different, getting their cotton in a different way. Like fucking Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood alchemy, just bringing it out of existence or something where nothing's getting damaged. But I couldn't find anything like that. All of their stuff is sourced outside of the US, and I couldn't find too much information on how or where exactly the procedure. So there is an option for 100% organic cotton, which is a little bit better than normal cotton, but you didn't choose that option. You chose 100% cotton. So there really is no excuse. I want to make it clear, I actually don't believe these things. I don't think this way. I'm just going by your line of thinking by comparing me eating a chicken tender to me being worse than torturing live animals on a YouTube video aimed at children. It's a very silly way of interpreting things, and you can see just how silly it is when you apply it in different areas like this. It's silly to ignore the fact that living in this day and age comes at a cost, and unfortunately that cost is animal lives. Vegan Gains, you may not eat animals directly or use products that are directly derived from animals, but a lot of the products you use every day have had animals die for that production. For example, you made a video talking about toilet paper being out in your area because of coronavirus. Well, as I'm sure you're well aware, toilet paper comes from trees that animals once called home, but as deforestation continues, deforestation leaves so many animals dead and homeless just to provide that toilet paper for you, Vegan Gains. So that toilet paper you're wiping your precious asshole with has blood on it because those animals have died because of that production of that toilet paper. So you yourself are a hypocrite just for existing in this world because everything that surrounds you at some point down the pipeline had an animal die because of it. So there's no reason to draw this distinction between eating animals is so much worse than using products animals have died for. These are the same thing. Animals die on both sides. It's just a matter of which one you have morally deemed worse than the other. You march around like you're this morally superior celestial being, but you're really not. I don't find you to be like this moral authority of YouTube. Throughout your entire history on YouTube, it's been a controversial one. One thing you've done pretty often is make fun of people with cancer, which I think is very low. Even recently, it's not like you've progressed past an edgy stage. Recently, you made fun of a bodybuilder who took a picture with a child with cancer.
Cancer is an almighty killer, and I wish there was a cure for it. I, for one, will be supporting Team Lewis in the future and hope you guys will too. One day, cancer will be a thing of the past and the memory of Lewis will live on in the cure when it's found.
Well, Eddie, since we're still waiting for that cure for cancer to be found, how about in the meantime we try and prevent ourselves from developing cancer in the first place?
Vegan Gains defends this clip vehemently by saying he's clearly not mocking this child with cancer, but I don't know how he can possibly not see how it seems like he is by the way he's talking. If I talk to you that way, Vegan Gains, you'd think that I'm mocking you, right? Like, my name's Richard and I'm so mad at meat. That sounds like I'm making fun of you, doesn't it? That's exactly what you did to this kid in this very tough situation. He goes on to talk about how red meat is, very correlated with cancer. And I don't know what Vegan Gains' degree is in, but I actually did go to college for human sciences. Concentration was exercise physiology. I've taken numerous nutritional courses. Richard talks about carcinogens. One of the first things you'll learn throughout nutrition in university, at least in my university, is that's the most obsolete way of looking at cancer-causing agents in food. Every single food out there is a known carcinogen. Even the safe stuff that your mom tucks you in at night saying is safe will watch over you at night, like broccoli. Broccoli is a very well-known carcinogen. Almonds too. Everything is a known carcinogen, and the way Richard presents this is extremely misleading. He presents the research in a way that makes it sound to his audience that if you eat red or processed meat, you're gonna get cancer. And while yes, red and processed meat is significantly worse than a lot of other options out there, it's extremely fucked up, and he always makes it sound like it's the person's fault they got cancer because they ate red meat. It's disgusting. I really think it's pretty fucked up, and I don't know why you think you have this moral high ground just because you're a vegan. It's a belief that you've instilled in your community as well, where everyone that supports you or supports veganism as a whole thinks that they can never be wrong, and anyone that eats meat is automatically wrong, so they don't even want to hear their opinion. They get locked in this bubble, which I think is terrible, because hearing different opinions leads to growth. It helps you discover things about yourself, learn new perspectives. As cliche as all that is, it's the truth. When you're locked in an echo chamber, nothing really gets done. I don't know you personally, Vegan Gains. From your videos, you seem well composed. Your live stream was a different story, but again, I understand with everything that went on. But the way you come across, I would have to guess you don't have a single friend that is a meat eater. I get the impression that you couldn't stand to be around someone that is a meat eater because you find it disgusting, and you couldn't see yourself associating with someone that has a different belief than you on that in that field specifically. I feel like you'd constantly be trying to prove them wrong or prove why they're a bad person in relation to you. It just seems like you need to be around sycophants that constantly echo your beliefs. I could be wrong, I don't know, but that's the impression I get because that's the way you're perceived on YouTube by the way you're attacking everyone that's having meat on their plate. You're not really educating, as I pointed out earlier. You are still just going for an attack route that doesn't challenge beliefs, it just seems hateful. Another thing you have asked me and many other people, what's your excuse for not going for meat substitutes when you admit that they're better than real meat? Well, not everyone is as financially secure as you are. Meat patties from Beyond are much more expensive than traditional beef patties. It is $12 per pound of meat from Beyond versus the $4 per pound of just regular beef. It is a significant price difference that not every family can afford to make the switch to. In addition to that, in my area, personally, the grocers around here have a very limited selection of vegan options. In fact, there's a single rack that has Beyond, Impossible, and other meat substitutes as well as vegan options. It's extremely rare to come across. Now, yes, it could be ordered online, but then it's even more expensive from certain retailers. It is a more expensive lifestyle choice that not everybody can make. And to vilify people for either not being able to afford it or find it or know about it, I think is very wrong. Even during your own live stream during this, someone donated to you thanking you for the good work that you've done. They believed that you were doing a good thing, and you were helping them stay on the vegan path. He said he was 90% vegan, he still eats cheese occasionally, and the first thing you said to him was, you're not vegan. There's no such thing as 90% vegan, you're either vegan or you're not, you're a vegetarian. And you talked down to him. He was a fan of yours and you belittled him in front of the entire stream when he was very happy to support you financially, and you still talked down to him because he wasn't vegan enough for you, which is something I've noticed in your comments as well. When I talk about veganism in your comments, I'm really not talking about as a whole. I'm talking about certain bad actors in it. A lot of people in your comments attack each other. You know, a competition to be the biggest vegan. I feel like the content you make isn't geared towards getting people over to your side and seeing these great things veganism has to offer. It's more geared towards just getting high fives of approval, like, yes, you fucking owned that meat eater. And I just don't see why you wouldn't try and take the route of, here's what good things veganism has and you might be interested in. Hey, I see you were talking about animal abuse, you clearly care. Here's some interesting things, which you did kind of touch on, but then still wanted to get those little, ass pats from your community in the comment section of, yeah, you fucking owned him. And I really do get the impression that it's just for the sake of milking a controversy because you made so much money during that live stream off it. And I think that's the worst part of it. Like I said, I had full intentions of having a conversation with you. You really didn't give me a chance because you had already posted a video by the time I even saw it. Before I even had a chance to reach out to you. You had clearly made up your mind that, yeah, I want to continue this. And now I just don't see why I would go on to debate you or bring you on the podcast to talk about it when it does seem your intention is just to grow from the controversy. You're getting a lot more views from this controversy, and like I said, you made a lot of money during that live stream. Again, I will never condone anyone going out of their way to harass anyone or anything like that. I have always vilified that kind of behavior and put it in a bad light, but unfortunately it's the internet, and there are bad actors that do that, and for that I am totally sorry. But I don't really have an interest in continuing a conversation with you past this video because I don't get the impression anymore that it's even genuine. I feel like I'm just playing into your hands to keep a toxic, one-sided debate going when we're really both in agreement on a lot of things. I just don't like you as a person, the way that you're conducting yourself on YouTube, the way that you're driving people away who are interested and would want to learn more. And even people in your own community, like, hey, I've been inspired by you and I feel like I'm doing a good job going vegan, you telling them, no, you're not vegan. So I am sure you will respond to this either during a live stream or the video, probably both like you did last time. But I don't think I'm going to continue this one-sided dialogue we're having here. And again, I want to reiterate, I have nothing but respect for veganism as a whole. I truthfully just don't like how Vegan Gains is portraying its appearance online. I don't like the reputation he's giving it, and that's the really only point that I was ever trying to make. That's about it. So yeah.